that. I was curious.
Paxton.
I pay attention.
Yeah, I've got a running hash mark tag here.
What up?
The
Are
F down.
we ready? I'll win.
We're in.
Hey, welcome all of our viewers on YouTube and listeners everywhere else. We are super excited today to have Wayne and Chanda from Beer Label Society.
Cheers,
Hello.
y'all. Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, y'all.
We'll add the clinks later. Clink. Oh, we don't need
clink,
to.
clink, clunk.
No post-production.
All right, so what am I drinking? Tell me about this beer here. And then we'll get into you guys. We'll just kind of pepper in a beer
Let
here
me
and there.
see what we got here. So this is a California brewery, Energren Brewing Company, and it's a Munich style Helles, which is a great traditional easy drinking beer.
Thank you, Mark.
It is delicious. I'm
I'm
not a
also,
big beer guy there, but
Hellas, Radiant Beer Co. Face in the Mirror.
Another great California brewery that's been around about a year, but has a great lineage. The owners came from another amazing brewery.
So the Beer Label Society, we've talked about it before on the show. Very large Facebook group, but the origin story is pretty amazing because you were sitting at a bar on Tybee.
Correct. Yeah.
Sure were.
Sitting at Coco's, great restaurant and bar. Friend of ours works there. Her name is Smokey. She's now one of the managers. And sitting there 9.5 years ago, and I got a background in drawing and illustrating, and looking at a beer label one day and pondering and thinking, there's some amazing artwork out there. So started a little group and started to give them some love, and never fathomed that it would grow to what it is today.
Sure,
So-
yeah, because it's what, 12K members at
yeah,
least?
a little over 12.
Yeah.
Today was crazy. We had one member that added 611 new people
In one
today.
day.
So,
Wow.
hey,
Yeah.
guy, help us.
yes, Steven Settle down in Florida, he did that. So,
Wow.
yeah,
That is
big
a hell
time.
of- that's a hell of a boost.
So you're an engineer,
Yeah, mechanical engineer.
mechanical engineer.
Yep.
You fix big shit?
I do
think
fix
that's,
big shit. I've heard that.
Yeah, yeah, and you're a teacher?
Teacher.
What do you
yes.
teach?
I teach social studies.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Fourth grade.
Get as close to that microphone as you can.
And
baby.
within the world of the Beer Label Society, web design and
I'm sorry, I got distracted by Clint.
Yeah, it happens to all of us.
the web
Even me. I distract me.
He has that effect on the ladies we hear.
the web design and the marketing.
Yeah, I do a little bit of that. It's pretty equal between both of us. I probably take care of more of the merch stuff,
Okay, right, yeah.
but
Well, in a situation where it's a business, it's better to have someone with a strength on this pole and someone else with a strength
agree.
on the
I
other
agree.
pole. And does it ever get contentious? Because it seems like a lot to.
There's some discussions in the home front from time to time, for sure.
Wayne,
Yeah.
get off your phone. Wayne, get off your phone. Wayne, get off your phone.
Yeah.
So just last month in October, you went to it was New Orleans,
Yes.
and I'm not gonna say the brewery's name because I already said it wrong, but you
It's
partnered with them.
it's Brie Carrie, and it's a half a block off of Frenchman, one of our favorite parts of New Orleans. A lot of local great music there, and Robert and his fine folks that work with them. Yeah, they brewed the beer there, and we assisted, and
They're an amazing
yeah,
bunch of people,
great
by the way.
people. They just won a gold medal at GABF, which is the Great American Beer Festival, for one of their other beers, and yeah, great place.
So how do you get linked up with these breweries? Because like you said, it was you did a bunch in Savannah all at once.
Yeah, we did for our 5-year anniversary. The group's been around a little over 9 years.
Oh,
and
it was for the group anniversary.
yeah,
So
our 5-year
wow.
anniversary.
We have
So
a 10-year coming up.
yeah, 10
Wow,
years going to be next year.
congratulations.
We haven't planned it yet, but it was a weekend of debauchery,
Sure.
and after
Whoa.
5-year anniversary, we were like, we can't do this every year. So
let's just do it every 10, but we
Well,
got to start it.
every 5.
We're
So
gonna do every
yeah,
5.
so everybody brace yourself. We'll be posting stuff in January
Sure.
to let them know what we're gonna plan on doing. But
Well,
Let's
so what did
just
you
say
do?
I broke a foot night 1.
Oh, okay.
Damn,
Oh,
that
night
was-
one.
I feel you right now. I'm all torn up from yesterday. I didn't have to do the part.
So
part,
who did you partner up with for that?
so at the time we did a beer with all of the local breweries. It was Service Brewing, Saltbaum Brewery, Coastal Empire, Two Tides, and I'm missing one.
New
I
Realm?
believe.
Coastal?
No, New Realm wasn't around at that
Did you
time.
say coastal?
Yeah, and then night one, Friday night, we did a private party in the cellar downstairs at Moon River.
We did a beer.
Oh,
at
it's
Moon
cool,
River,
cool
too.
down there too. You
Yeah.
ever been down there?
I haven't been.
It's
no.
dope. It's dope.
Yeah,
So
you
cool.
got to get there and look at the big pole in the center of the room where they once upon a time chained a lion up, and the bottom
So
of the
cool
bottom of
down
the
there.
pole is all worn away from where the chain went roundy round on it. Yeah,
It used to be able to buy wild animals in Atlanta at the what's now the I'm blanking on it.
Underground?
No, it's like one of their big recover. It's an old Sears building in Atlanta, and it's a very popular district. I can't think of the name of it right now, but they have the rooms are huge because they used to have live. You could buy an elephant from Sears
That's crazy.
back in the day.
yeah, and
But
John
it's a huge building.
John Pinkerton and the fine folks at Moon River hosted us Friday night. Saturday, we rented 2 buses, and we probably had 50, 60 people in town, some people from out of state, and just
Nice.
toured around to all the local breweries and had a couple of beers at each. And Sunday, we met up at Two Tides and did a bottle share, which for people not in the beer world, it's basically you bring a couple of your favorite beers and you pass them around the room, and everybody grabs a couple ounces out of it. And we had enough beer there for
Yeah.
3 times as many people
It's
as
That's
we
always
had.
fun.
A little more than a tasting.
Yeah, we'll do that with wine.
Yeah.
Like everybody brings 3 bottles of wine. There's 5 people there. Like, uh-oh,
Yep.
this is gonna be a long day.
So what's the process of collaboration? Like, just take this current one for
Yep.
example.
So normally the way it works out, we'll approach a brewery or they'll approach us. We've done some for charities already where the charity approached us directly. There's a group called Bottle Share, which they
Hi, Chris. I know you're watching.
they raise money to help people if they get sick or get injured, people that work in the beer industry.
They raise money to buy them beer.
Yeah.
No, no.
I
can't work, I need beer.
Other things.
Yeah. So we did a beer with them last year, and that was with Highwire Brewing out of Asheville.
Yeah.
But
Which was a fantastic
basically,
beer, by the
there's
way.
that initial conversation, and then you do some brainstorming, come up with the style of beer that you want to brew, and then come up with a name and the artwork.
And the label.
and-
Yeah.
yeah,
and the-
and all of that stuff. And then we do a lot of social media marketing and all of that
Sure.
good stuff.
that
so.
sounds like a band writing a song. You know, it's like, hey, I have
Yeah, it
this
kinda
idea.
does, yeah.
You go to the brewery, they're like, oh,
Yeah.
well, here's what we can do. Here's what we have the facilities for.
Yep.
And this is all off the back of building that group.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all off
Completely.
the back of you sitting at Coco's one day.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Basically. Yeah.
That is amazing because I didn't have that perception of it. I mean, I knew the group was big and pretty ubiquitous, but being able to connect with all of those, and you guys travel a lot.
Yeah. Yep.
So during you travel for work a lot.
Correct.
50,000 miles a year or something
Yeah.
like that.
Drive
What
a
kind of
ton.
machines do you work on?
Big.
A lot of stuff in the paper industry, some stuff in the steel industry. One of my favorite days at work, I actually walked underneath a cruise ship while it was in the dry dock down in the Bahamas.
Dope and scary.
And I'll show you some pictures
One
later.
of
Clay.
my best friends, V, shout out to V, he's listening
Yeah.
at some point in time. He's a mechanical engineer too. He works on laser fabricating machines for
Okay.
a company called Trump. TRU. It's a
Yeah.
German company, but he flies all over the country all the damn time to work on lasers that are the size of like this room.
Yeah, cool.
So we talked. I fixed.
Yes,
big shit,
you
yeah.
fix big shit.
Yeah,
That'll be on
that's
the
my
tombstone.
hashtag.
Yeah, that'll be on the tombstone. And I was asking you earlier before we got started. When you travel for work, sometimes you can work it together where it can be a mini vacation.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
take along a lot.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
but
the move too. I mean, yeah, because he's already going. Why
you're
not?
already
Exactly.
going. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and now Shanda is teaching 100% online,
virtual.
so
Oh,
We're
cool.
that's
virtual now,
going to
so
free up them opportunities
I
too.
take
So
along a lot more these
Yeah.
days.
You could drink a beer while you do that.
When did it turn to just online?
So I
For
changed
you.
school. So I work for Georgia Cyber Academy,
Okay.
and it's 100% online.
Yep.
So it's great. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it was already 100%.
I'm not sure if I even want to be saying this.
Yeah,
we'll bleep that part
Bleep
out.
that out.
yeah.
And both from Wisconsin
Yes.
yes,
and
Yes.
met there and then moved here.
Yes.
Yep.
How long
Yes.
ago?
we've been in Savannah now for 12 years.
And your accent has faded by 1%, it seems. Your
Well-
accent's a lot stronger than hers is.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm small
always has
town and
been.
she's not. So
Well,
yeah.
so where in Wisconsin are you from?
Appleton, Wisconsin.
And you're from? I'm not gonna know where it is.
the
like that.
shadow of Lambeau Field.
Oh yeah, nice. My grandfather was from Wisconsin, but I can't remember where. Some small town dairy farmer.
little city called New London. So.
Okay.
Not that I
And
want to talk about
the beer
Packers
world
today.
in Wisconsin is pretty big. I would
Yeah,
imagine.
they're pretty strong in the beer game for sure.
But what about craft and small breweries? Because obviously, like Milwaukee's got like.
There's a lot in Wisconsin. There really is. I mean,
Really good
California
breweries.
is the densest area as far as craft
it?
breweries, and Colorado is probably not far behind it. But Wisconsin has a fair amount of them for sure.
Sure. Well, in
Yeah.
Savannah, at least, the boom happened. I guess maybe southbound or service kind
I
of.
don't know which one was first. Was
Yeah.
Southbound first or service?
Yeah,
Moon River was
Moon
really-
River
Moon River,
Moon
for
River is
sure.
coming up
Oh,
on
okay.
either their 20th or 25th anniversary.
Well, there was a gap between Moon River and
Yeah.
then
Everything else,
And
right?
then
Moon River's been
everything
around since I was a
else.
kid.
They've been
Yeah.
there forever.
Yeah.
Well, the beer laws in the state of Georgia have always been awful until I think it was 2017. A lot of changes took place, and it used to be where if you were going to start a brewery in Georgia, it had to be a production brewery, and you had to push stuff through distribution. And
no sales on site.
well, it was weird. You had to go in and you had to pay for a tour.
Now, do you
And-
remember that? And then you'd get your 10 tickets.
And based on a tour, they'd give you like movie tickets, and each one of them was good for a half pour or whatever. And then
cool.
you got your
actually missed
little
that.
gift when you left, which was either a pint glass or a 6-pack of beer.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and that all changed in 2017, where you can walk in now and buy a 6-pack, or you can buy a single beer at the bar and walk out the doors. So
Okay.
Yeah. the ABV, it's 14. Yeah,
So-
that hasn't changed.
14's the allowable ABV in Georgia. Okay.
Yep.
I had a friend that just got back from Utah, Joe Schmidt, and something just changed there where you could produce and can, but you couldn't pour on site.
And you can marry now 14 people in Utah, right?
they moved the number up, but it was all those weird beer laws because
They still got some of them. They got the 3-2 law out there. They might have done away with it just
what's
recently.
the 3-2 law?
3.2%.
Oh my God.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it was,
nothing.
It was one of the few places in the country that still held hard on that 3.2 law.
and that's overall.
But it's goofy because if you're a brewery there, if you make a beer stronger than 3.2, you legally can't sell it in the state, but you can sell it outside of the state of Utah. You know,
That's gotta be
Buck
frustrating.
55.
That's gotta be so frustrating. Nobody can hear you, so we're
Correct.
just talking to
Yeah.
silence. When you talk, no one can hear. So know that it's completely
I
quiet.
can.
Um,
What?
You
I
got
think
that
the beer laws
lovely
here
booming
changed when they
voice,
changed
Jeff.
the Sunday law when we started being able to actually buy beer on
Well,
Sundays.
I guess it was the brunch bill. So
The brunch bill was the recent one. That was the adjustment down to 11. 'Cause
Yeah.
It was 12:30
Yes.
yeah,
Right.
you
because you
Thank
can't
goodness,
drink till
by
churches
the
over
way.
apparently.
the one you're talking about changed what 7-8 years ago.
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like
I mean,
that?
we used to go to South Carolina to buy beer. I remember back in the early 2000s, we'd go to Hunter Army Airfield to the golf course
Yeah.
and buy a tall boy Coors Lights out of the machine at the golf course.
I know they had a
Which,
machine.
yes, that's when we used to party a little bunch. It would be like
So on
7:30 in the morning.
Sunday.
There with a duffel bag, buying as many beers as we can out there until they run out.
Well,
So what did they charge for those tall boys?
Like $2
yeah,
because that's on base.
really?
yeah. There you go.
Beer's cheap
Uh,
on base.
Because Colorado's a weird thing. Grocery store, your Bud Light is a lower ABV than typical. But if you
Yeah.
were to go to a package store, in your travels, have you run into other states like that with funky?
There's a few states that have some really weird beer laws. The most recent one is the state of New Jersey. They took a step backwards as far as what they were allowed to do. And now at a brewery in New Jersey, if you have a TV in that brewery playing anything, it's considered an event, and you need a permit to have that event.
Is the Tybee City Council in charge of New Jersey?
Right?
Jesus, that sounds like a pain in the ass.
No kidding.
Yeah, because
And you'll get a
No,
parking
just
ticket
that
while
one
you're
guy
there.
that comes and messes with Huckapoos.
Yeah.
well, here, so say you have a pay-per-view fight. Depending,
It is.
the company is going to charge you depending on how your footprint or however many people.
How many
you
seats
can,
you have at your bar?
Yeah.
Because that's what Eric has to pay at Huckapoo's, but that's why all the chairs get put up at night. Those are permanent seats. A lot of restaurants do that to get around the because you pay
Yeah.
your fire bill's paid, and you have the direct TV package. you have to pay per permanent
Oh.
seat. So there's ways to circumnavigate what I'm sure is $5,000 to $10,000.
Sure. So as you collaborate with new breweries, let's say you've done this style. It's a
Yep,
style.
yep.
Are you concerned? And I'm always going to bring it back to like musicianship, but like you don't want to write the same song twice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got,
Do you have it in your head where it's like I've already done something that's sort of similar to this? I don't want to repeat
Yeah,
that
I
sort
mean,
of thing.
my gears are always turning,
Yeah.
and not saying that as an engineer, you know.
I was
But,
like, I got you.
You know,
Dad jokes.
I'm sure, Paxton, you probably got lists, whether it's on your phone or somewhere, of song ideas or
Sure.
stuff that you're working on. I'm the same way. I got a list on my phone of everything beer related that I'm always thinking of, and the list is always growing and growing and growing. And I'll never finish that list. But
Yeah, I'm on like page 26 on my Samsung notes for
We'll
podcast
literally
notes.
be sitting somewhere, and the phone comes out, the notes page comes out.
Yeah, I do. When an idea comes, you got to write it down now because I can remember the
Randomly
idea
comes
wholly.
exactly.
So
Yeah, I'll always
We just
forget.
got a new idea tonight, by
So
the way.
and piggybacking off what he asked, so
Yeah.
you don't want to do the same beer twice. How long do you continue to brew this beer with this brewery? Is
So-
there a time
so-
limit on that, or
So this was in what we do. It's all a one-time thing.
everything's a
Yeah.
one-time thing?
One
Okay.
I mean,
time.
we got future goals and aspirations of saying having our own beer on the shelf someday, you know,
Right.
which would be amazing, but it's baby steps, you know.
yeah,
so.
okay. So
yeah.
they're not never ending. It's
Yeah.
Well,
it's a
you've
one-
taken some
one
pretty
cycle.
large baby steps already, you know, especially with all the collaborations. That's got to be fulfilling in terms of like the creativity of it. And
Yeah, and several of the beers we've done, you know, it was like, say, taproom release only, and it was only on draft. Where a couple of them we did, the one with Highwire, the one with Brie Carey, it's always amazing when you create something and you have your logo for your company, and then to see it on a product, you know, and it's heartwarming, you know.
especially going from start to finish on an idea, whenever you wrap something up,
Yep.
it's like, holy shit, I've actually accomplished something. It's just like the old, you know, get up and make your bed first. That means you've done something.
Right,
You know.
exactly.
So what was your idea that happened today?
So,
Hot off the press.
hot off the press with our friend Jeffro. We are really liking.
Get up on that microphone, girl.
Oh, we're really.
There you
I don't
go.
know. Should I tell the secret?
You can tell it.
So we're really liking the idea, and this might be a really good winter drink. Is the stout with raspberry.
That's the Jeffro idea. Yeah.
So
nice.
who wants to do that with us? Speak up.
Yeah, someone's
hit us
getting
up,
there.
PM us.
Who wants to do it?
Yeah, do you have an email address that they can hit?
Yeah, it's beerlabelsociety@gmail.com.
Easy enough. I
Nice.
like it.
That would
Shout
be
out to
a
the 8 people that are
wonderful
watching on
Christmas
YouTube.
beer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
shout out to Greg for using the chat. You can't bleep something on live broadcasts. I was like,
Shit.
he's
There's
got a point.
There's always a foil.
Cheers,
There's a-
Greg.
Yes, yes. Shout out to Greg and Amanda watching live in their living room.
Oh, no, yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
you're
daughter
watching.
Keely's watching.
So in the future, as the you know the brand grows in terms of just being visible, scaling the operation in terms of how wide the reach could be. Have you thought about in terms of like a goal of one in each state somehow, or
I haven't, but that's an interesting thought. And we got friends all over the country, friends all over the world
It's a really cool
in the
idea.
beer scene. Some of them we've met in person. A lot of them we have not. But you know how it is with social media friends,
Sure.
especially with your guys in your podcast and your YouTube channel. You're getting chats and messages from people all the time. I'm sure that
Yep.
you haven't met, but
Yes.
yeah.
And the passion just likes and doesn't say anything to him.
But that's an interesting thought, and definitely something to think about and
because
consider.
when I look at the group, I see engagement from literally everywhere, and I think it's such a rad idea because if someone finds something in a state where no one else can get it, and then it's available to be seen, all in one place, especially by beer lovers, and was beer in terms of like how you became interested in forming a group which would connect all these people? Was it purely for the love of beer, or was it the creative idea of collaborating and creating things, not just connecting people?
I think all of the above. We're both uh, lovers of art.
Yeah.
We both love beer a lot.
Yeah.
I sure hope so.
And we we love traveling. I think if you put all of those things together, it's what makes this group.
Well, I think
what it is.
I think the perfect storm was you're already on the road a lot. You guys seem to work well together. Both love beer, artistic, creative. So I think the fulfilling part is collaborating and making something, you know, one person's idea can turn into someone else's actual product.
Absolutely.
And the other thing we didn't touch on is in the craft beer world, it's discussed frequently, but there's truly this sense of community with breweries helping each other. You know, say, okay, I'm short on this hop or whatever. Can I get a little bit from you or whatnot? And the craft beer industry is known for that, and we tap into that a little bit on our social media group also, you know,
Oh, it
as
can
far
be
as the community
It's
aspect.
cool because
yeah.
like wineries aren't as supportive of each other like that. It feels like the beer community and the wheat community are pretty similar in their
Yeah,
like
because
Very
it's like
supportive.
it's like a
Cohesion.
conduit for people to find each other, a collaborative conduit. Like, hey, we don't have enough hops or whatever,
Yep.
yeast, whatever,
Yep.
and they can pipeline it to someone that needs
We
it.
are literally a brewery's dream. You're getting all this free marketing.
Sure.
We connect people with each other. We don't trade with a lot of people, but we do trade with some people. But we have brought people together that they are trading beers together. They're trading labels together. We have people in I don't know how many different countries at this
You
point.
used to be able to tell on the Facebook group.
they just changed Facebook to
Yeah,
I
well,
hate
it's
Facebook.
updating every couple of weeks, and it's always for the worst, you
Yeah,
know. But they used to keep a tally up to 99 countries, and you could see all the countries.
Now they want you to pay for that.
And once upon a time, we
pay for that
actually
Yeah, you pay for that
sold
now.
a
I looked into
T-shirt
it.
to somebody in Istanbul, and in
Writing Istanbul on a
yeah,
package would be cool.
and they weren't even on the group. I don't know if they followed us on Instagram or whatever,
wow,
but Instagram. So we got a decent Instagram presence, but all it really is me taking somewhat fancy pictures of beer.
Sure.
You know, it's not the group community
more active on
format. You know,
Sure.
Yeah,
but,
Facebook gets you a little bit more better community
Facebook is
interaction.
better for group interaction. Instagram is just for people like, oh, look at her big butt.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that nice can of beer,
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
thing.
Shout out to William Rudd, I guess a friend of yours, guys, said you
Yeah.
guys are looking great and are unnatural.
Oh, thank you.
Ah,
Shout out,
very-
William.
very natural.
it's the
So-
beer.
It's
I
the
just,
beer.
I
Yeah.
just want to tell a fun story about how fulfilling this can be. So, you want to tell the story about when we were in Mexico?
Yeah. Oh, I'm struggling to think of the guy's name right now,
Can I have
but
another one of these
Juan?
delicious
yeah.
beers?
So,
Hey.
Insert Spanish name here.
no, there's a gentleman that lives in England, and I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but we were in Cozumel, Mexico,
Ooh.
and we've
Maybe
went down there scuba diving many years. My in-laws Mike and Kathy got us into scuba diving. Love you, Mike and Kathy. And we were at this small hotel, you know, maybe 15 rooms or whatever. And midday, Chanda goes to the room to freshen up, and I'm doing what I do best. I'm sitting at the bar having a beer downstairs,
Huh, weird.
and where the bar is, it's like open air, so you could see all the balconies above you from all of these rooms. And I'm a talker. I get it from my dad. Miss you, Dad. And talking to 2-3 guys, and I mentioned to one of them that I'm from lovely Savannah, Georgia, and the guy's name is Colin from England.
Colin, yep.
And Colin
English
is waiting
name.
for his wife to get done freshening up, and he's on the balcony.
A bunch of
three-
guys having beer, waiting for the wives to get ready.
Three,
That
three,
sounds-
no, he's on the
so
balcony
weird.
3
Perfect
floors
timing.
above me, and he hears my unnaturally loud voice, which I get told
Wisconsin
about.
voice, by the
And
way.
he's like, Wayne from Savannah. I wonder if that's Wayne from Beer Label Society.
Shut
so
the front
he
door.
he walks down to the bar, and he walks up to me because now he recognizes me. He's like, "Hey, Wayne, I'm Colin so and so from England." I'm like,
And
"Cool."
we're in
I'm,
Mexico.
I'm speechless for a couple of minutes, you know.
Of course.
Yeah, so we hung out and had a beer or a drink or two, you know, and it was and-
Wow.
That's so cool.
and then I give him a couple of stickers, you know, and about 2 or 3 months later, he's on top of Mount Kilimanjaro with
Beer
our
Label
sticker
sticker.
holding it up in the air.
How
Shut
cool
the hell
was
up.
Yeah.
that?
From the
So we've literally
plains
been
of Savannah
to the top of the
Mount
world.
Kilimanjaro.
You know?
That's
Oh,
awesome.
cool.
Wow.
That is so
that
badass.
that to me was a moment. I'm like,
That's the culmination of all
we've
this work.
got
and
something
it's,
here.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Yeah, and we're pretty humble people, and we don't realize it at times. You know, the little impact we've had on the beer world, but we've had people walk up to us in breweries, whatnot, on the other side of the country.
There's
and
nothing
they're
like
like,
seeing someone walk
"You're-
around in a city
you're
with your
from
shirt on.
Beer label, right?" And we're like, "Yeah," you know.
How
and-
the hell do
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
that? Yeah.
Well, part of it's my
Yeah, you have a
calling
pretty
sign,
memorable
the-
look.
the-
Have
the-
classic
the
beer,
beer,
you know.
You got a memorable, very
Yeah.
memorable look.
Yeah.
So in terms of running the group, how much of your time does it take up? Because it seems like it's a pretty big undertaking.
So there's some secrets to this that people that don't have groups on Facebook don't know. There's a thing called keyword settings. So we got about 60 taboo words that if people use these words, we get alerted of it. You know, so that if there's some riffraff or some
Well,
stuff going sideways,
And I just want to say, we don't put up with any bullshit.
yeah, you should.
and in politics and beer don't mix. So
Yeah.
anything political, we
that's-
kindly delete it. And
Nothing irks me more than
Nothing
it's the site is
political,
about
nothing
this.
racist,
Talk about this.
nothing-
Don't come up with anything.
Yeah.
Don't make
This
it
is beer.
contentious.
Yeah.
Just beer.
It's supposed to be a fun
Don't
and
bring your
friendly
wine.
place.
Don't bring your wine talk over here.
Nope.
This is supposed to
No
be
Karens.
the trust tree.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly. And
So, I got a question. When you aren't drinking beer, if you're drinking something else, what do you guys like to drink besides beer?
so
Whiskey.
No hesitation.
so we love ourselves some Jameson, but I like some nice bourbon. I'm not a bourbon expert by any means. We like wine. I know enough about wine to be dangerous, so don't quiz me on any of that. But our daughter Keely, her boyfriend Caleb, is going for a second level Salmonet in
Yes,
December.
we're proud of you,
Nice.
Caleb.
Hell yeah, man.
He works at Husk downtown.
Okay, what's
and
his name? Caleb?
Caleb.
Yeah, I think I've met him before.
Yeah, and he's
If he's listening, he knows my friend James. My friend James goes in there like
Oh,
every.
we know James.
Oh, you know James?
Yep.
I've worked with
Well,
James for
not-
like
I just
12
know
years.
him from
He's
the
a very
restaurant.
memorable person, also.
okay.
Hey, I worked with him. This was our second job together. We worked together for like over 10 years.
Well, that's a perfect lead in then because earlier you were talking about a beer that was aged and
Yeah. Well,
Um,
Bourbon casks?
I don't know.
we can grab it out of the cooler if
Yeah,
you
let's,
want.
yeah,
Yeah,
let's grab it.
let's-
Really cool.
Which one was it? The bigger one?
Yeah,
So I don't drink a lot of beer, but the beer buzz is such a different buzz than the vodka or wine buzz.
So
Or tequila even.
Be afraid.
Hey, I can open that.
Please do.
so the beer people will know this beer just by the big 3 that's prominent on the front of it. This
Oh,
is
that what that is?
we're gonna let Clint do some of the things he does best right now, popping corks. But it's Trey Fontaine.
Kelly looks scared back there.
Trey Fontaine from Belgium, and this is a Goose, which is a blend of a couple different years. And this is 17 and 18, I think, is the vintage on this.
Little tip, people: leave the cage on when you open a bottle of wine with the cork in it, because otherwise, once the cage is off, the cork is now a weapon and it'll shoot in the air.
Okay.
I think I told somebody that at work. I was training somebody. I was like, "Hey, make sure you do that." And the guy was like, "Oh, okay." 4 minutes later, hits himself in the face with one.
So they've blended the beer,
Yes.
then they've aged it.
No, it's a blended version of a couple of different years. Normally, it's a 3, a 2, and a 1 year blend is what Goose is consisted of. So
Because you don't age beer like you do wine. You just age beer for about a year or 2, right? At the most, or like
well,
most beer is not done for
as
how long?
far as in the process, normally it's a couple of years at the most. But there are beer.
Like, how long was this one sitting before you got after it?
This one was canned on Friday, and we arrived in New Orleans on Saturday. So
So just 3 days
No,
to make it.
but as far-
Well, I mean, how long was the process
to?
from the
Well,
moment you
as-
put the
as
hops
far-
in the
as-
barrel to when you got them out of there?
that's the fermentation process.
Right. So how
and
long
that,
did you ferment
that
for?
a porter is approximately a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
I'd
and,
say
and
it
this
was
this
solid
one
4
was about
weeks.
6 weeks, just because our friends at Brewery were at GABF, you know, winning that medal and everything, and Chanda had a crazy birthday party in downtown Savannah one weekend. So yeah, we had a little delay with the release, but
Well, speaking of release, I got a business question for you. Someone in
Yep.
the chat is asking if you do kegged beer? Do you have a stout or a porter They need one who's on draft for the season.
We don't, but that's something we could maybe talk to one of our local breweries about doing. And
Absolutely.
That'd be a good team
we've been having a conversation recently with
We've done many kegs before. We did that with
Yep.
our blueberry coffee
Greg
beer.
says, hashtag support local, hashtag support people we like. But he just goes with support.
Yeah, because we love
I
people.
like that, Greg.
We love people we like. You know who we don't love?
and don't
Oh,
mind us
shit.
all
It's
beer
the
nerds. We're not going to
Karen
rinse these glasses. We're just going to go from
of the
one to the
week.
next.
Don't
It's the
judge.
Karen of the week.
I've had this one for a while, Clint. I'm excited to get into it.
Oh, shit. It's everyone's favorite portion of From Behind the Barcast. It's the Karen of
This
the
Meg is the
week.
Karen right now.
Would you like to go first?
I will go first. You want to put the wig on? Because you're my Karen of the week.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
So, if you know me half at all, I don't respond to phone calls and text messages during a Georgia game. I'm watching the game. Leave me the fuck alone. If I don't care if it's about the game. At halftime, I'll try to look, but if I'm on my phone, I'm only looking at social media, Twitter stuff to get information. I'm not responding to text. People that work with me that keep doing that bullshit. Paxton, however, known non-responder to text messages and phone calls. About 3. Let's see, what time was this? It was about 3. No, 20.
Mind you, the game starts at 3:30.
At 3:30. I'm also having people over for an oyster roast, as he is fully aware, and he starts texting me a bunch of nonsense. I know he sent me one text, and I responded with KK. So I responded because it was like 3:25.
KK is basically like fuck off.
Exactly, but no response. Some response, no response.
Can I
then-
give a nickname to Clint? Bedhead Karen?
Yeah. There's no need to cut.
Every time he puts it on, it's a little
Karen
different.
had a
every-
rough night.
So he just starts sending me text about absolute nonsense. Want to talk for a few hours? I'm not doing anything until 4. Anyway, I've been thinking about when Luke returned from the dead and rejoined with the Force was just a slap in the face to Ryan Johnson. It's Rian, but thoughts? And then an hour later, it's like in the heat of the game. And do you think Palpatine just kept cloning himself into an old man body to keep his appearance while hiding out in some galactic base unseen? The fun part about this is it's Paxton actually talking about what actually happened in the movies instead of being like, so how your Star Trek Luke Skywalker, Frodo, nonsense. And like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, at least it's entertaining text bothering me. Like, it's not like,
Well, I hit you with the facts because, I was telling you guys on the break, they're called Red Letter Media, and they're from Wisconsin, and they just do film criticisms, but they're the
Okay.
funniest dudes in the world, and they drink New Glarus the entire time. So I just watched this episode.
Holy,
yeah,
wow.
that's
got a-
hitting.
There's a lot happening there.
So I just
It's got a little
watched,
funk to it. It's
Yeah.
it's kind of
Yeah.
it's kind of subtle with the age now.
So did they, after they blended it, did they put it like Innocent Gun? Don't they like put it in a barrel for an amount of time?
Yeah,
to,
yeah. That's
To
before
impart something.
exactly, and that's before the actual blending process with
have
this
the
beer.
Brett Michaels?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha,
Yep.
gotcha.
I
Yeah,
love the Brett Michaels.
Yeah, which is Brettanomyces.
Oh, I was wondering about that. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
I was like
Brett
Rock of
Michaels.
Love. You can name it Rock of
The
Love.
Rock of Loves. The Brett Michaels.
The funk, or some people call it the horse blanket.
See,
yeah.
it makes sense now, doesn't it?
It's not for
Yeah.
me.
I like
No?
it.
But I'm not a big beer guy. I like simple beers, lagers,
It's
and
an
Hefeweizens.
acquired taste.
Yeah.
I hated it at first, but now I kind of like it.
The finish isn't so bad now, but like when I first took the sip, it was just very. It's
Well,
skunky. It's skunky.
And if you
It's funky.
if you've never had anything like that before, the
I didn't
first
know.
sip,
I didn't know what to expect, and so
Yeah.
it was all pretty much a giant surprise. Yeah, Frozen is a little bit bubblegummy.
and
Bubblegummy.
that beer
What
we
kind of shitty gum are
I
you
need to
chewing?
drink
that
this to
that
taste
beer we
that.
got from our
Yeah,
Oh.
the free gum.
that
from
beer
the
we
bar.
bought from our fine friend Vince Becker at Habersham Warehouse in Savannah.
Shout
So-
out Vince.
Habersham has a huge
Yeah.
Amazing.
selection of everything.
So-
I mean, huge.
So, do you have a Karen or a Darren, Mr. Darren,
I do not.
Darrington Levy?
I do not, because I was saving it for Wayne's almost world-crushing Karen.
Well, Wayne.
Let me set the scene. 2017. You're riding your motorcycle.
Yeah,
down to
2017.
Tyree.
So we used to be owners of a lovely Harley Davidson, and traveled the country on it for years. Great way to see the country. Back roads, small towns, Americana at its finest, really. And 2017, we live very near to lovely Tybee Island that we're
Stole my
on
glass.
right now on Wilmington Island. And so Valentine's Day of 17, we were coming to Huckapoo's where Paxton works, 4:30ish in the afternoon, coming to get some pizza, me and my sweetheart. And I didn't get that pizza for about another month and a half. We were on the causeway by Fort Pulaski, and 2 vehicles in front of us. There's a lady. She's local.
Her name
I'll
is
just use
Karen.
her first name, and it's Karen.
And that's
This is not a euphemism. Her
Nope.
name.
No.
Her name is
and
Karen.
her hair literally looked like what was on
it's
Clint's
weird. I
head.
think when your
Yeah,
name is
her hair,
Karen and you
her
get a
hair kind
haircut,
of looked like Clint's wig a
when
second
you
ago.
when you walk into your haircut to Karen, they're like, say less.
No, it's like Joe Dirt. He's like, do you shave your beard like
Yeah.
that? He's like, no, it grows in naturally.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
just Karen's hair just grows in like
So
that.
Karen went shopping earlier in the day and purchased a leather recliner and put it in the back of her pickup and never tied it down, never strapped it down.
Karen move.
Drove around for hours
Rhymes
and
with smelly.
created a several vehicle accident. And we were the end result with a couple of broken bones and a totaled motorcycle. And meanwhile, she's standing on the side of the road. Oh yeah, my wife had to be fished out of the marsh,
Yeah.
face down.
Broken arm.
And Karen is standing there arguing with the police officer because she got a $180 ticket for an uncontrolled load in a motor vehicle.
One-
No
180.
concern.
No
for
No
that.
concern for y'all at all.
Zero.
Nothing.
She was
It's-
mad about that ticket.
The irony is not lost on me that you got hit with a piece of furniture you were then going to relax on later because you couldn't do anything. So
we won the lazy boy, and
and Fro also was
Yeah.
a motorcycle
So,
accident
Yeah.
a couple
I
years.
remember that, too.
2019. So
along those. lines.
don't get on a bike with anybody in this room.
Yeah, right.
No, we're all bad.
Jeff,
luck.
us, and Culberson, we were like
It
the
was all that-
trifecta
it
back
was
to
that
back.
1 year.
Didn't
Yep.
Culberson?
It was all
Was that the
It was
crazy?
all the
Did
same year.
Culberson go down because of that crazy girl? Did she like bite him or something? Or was that?
No,
Oh,
that was
the
by
Georgia
Georgia
Power truck pulled out in front of him.
No,
Okay.
I'll tell the story. Fuck Eric. For what he did on this
Come on
podcast.
now, he's like 600 years old now. Take it easy on him.
Oh, you gotta love a throwback from a good listener. So
We're-
he was
we
dating some
listen.
crazy girl, and they were.
Oh,
they-
God.
Were they in the car? They were in the car driving. They're fighting
The
on
ear.
16, and she ripped a chunk of his ear off with her teeth.
She Van Gogh'd him.
Yes, and like
Yes.
was punching him, hitting him while he was driving.
Yes.
Yeah, that's an old man, lady.
So in
I
the
remember that
vein of
story.
Karen, so now not necessarily Karen or Darren, but there are certain people in the beer world. I don't want to say like hips or anything like that, but the
You
snobbish
can use that
peop-
term.
Use it.
But the snobbish people.
Yes.
Lots.
Like give us some examples of what's a pet peeve in terms of how people approach.
Oh
the
my
beer.
god! Oh my god! Your glass is so dirty.
Yeah. So
So
you guys may not know. Jeff might know this. There's actually a group on social media called Dirty Glass Mafia #DGM.
and they
And
go after people who have dirty
They,
glasses.
they,
post
they go
pictures.
after people and they'll take pictures from other groups and other pages and
It's
post them and call people
ruthless.
out and
And
stuff
shame
like that.
them. I'm okay with
And
that.
Shame. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a wine snob at heart. So
Shame.
if you're drinking good wine, the thing is with wine, people don't know this. Just pour a little bit of the next wine in there, swirl it around, drink whatever nonsense you've just made, and then pour the wine back in the glass. Now that other wine that was previously in there is gone. Well, quick rinse because water works some, but it's better just to use more wine because the alcohol
More
and
wine
sugars
is
will get
always
out
good.
and will get the flavor out of there. Because I miss wine tastings because the COVID they just started doing them. 3 of the wine companies in Savannah did a show in one day. What the hell? I can't go to 3 wine tastings in a day. I'll get
Sure.
hammered.
Right.
There's a local group. I'll send you the link to it when I find it. But there's a local group that just started the new wine serving room on Abercorn Street. Mackenzie used to work there.
Oh, the one by Publix? Or is there another one now?
No. It's right downtown on Abercorn. Couple blocks, from like Green Truck or any of that stuff. And
Okay, like the Starland area?
Yeah, yeah.
It used to be Urban Poppy. and
Yeah.
now it's a nice, cute little wine bar.
But one of the
Oh,
owners
cool.
of that
In the
started a
Starland
local
district.
social media group for wine lovers, and they have events once a month and all of
Oh.
that. I'll send it to you.
I
yeah.
bet I know who it is. I can't
Yeah,
think of his name.
it's
Coming
the
right now.
it's the guy that started that business there.
Well, see, we'll have people that will order beer. I'll be like, I don't know exactly what I want, so I'll try and make it as basic as possible. Like, hey, do you want something light, something dark, something with a fruit twinge or whatever? And they're like, oh, I love something with lemon. I'll give them a shandy. They're like, hey, I don't like this.
And then
I'm
they
like,
order a Bud Light.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's that's just one of my peeves. Where at the other one is, they think they know every goddamn thing about beer.
See, I know nothing about beer, so when I order a beer, I come in and go, here's the things that I have enjoyed in the past, but I don't know what I
Have an
I know what I
idea.
don't like.
See, that's me with wine.
Yeah.
I don't try to pretend.
Yeah,
I know.
but I just know what I don't like. I'm not a fruity beer person. I just like lighter, weaker beers.
And it's not a
I don't drink a lot.
it's not a measure of anything to be like, well, I know every tasting note
No,
in
you
this
don't
beer.
need
That
to know
who
everything.
gives a shit, man? Do you like
if you're
what you
with
like?
people that are also in that realm of thought and you're having a conversation, that's just one thing, but not to the bartender at Huckapoo's.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean we don't claim to be beer experts by any means.
No.
We're beer enthusiasts.
Enthusiasts. Yeah.
And
Yes.
we love the community of beer above anything, you know.
And the opportunity to expose people to things that they might not already be
Yeah. Right.
exposed to.
And
Yeah.
Because
everybody
I would
shares.
rather trust someone else's suggestion, like you guys, than to be like, I'll figure it out myself. I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. And doggone it, my taste buds are
decent enough.
Are
Decent
wrecked.
So, in that same aspect, we are going to start our beer shares again. So, we group up with a bunch of local establishments, and we will host beer shares there. And once again, everybody brings in their choices of beers from all over the place, and everybody gets to taste something they haven't tasted before.
Does any amateur
Um,
ever show up with some like bullshit, like some
it's-
Miller High Life or something?
and
They're like,
No, that's good. I
You
mean,
know,
whatever you're into, we
do
don't judge.
not
Yeah.
make fun.
Some
do
people
you,
might
do you,
not,
do you
yeah.
have a basic beer, like a grocery
Well,
store beer you like?
It's
Busch
it's
Light.
fun. It's
Busch
fun.
Light?
Yeah.
I
Well,
love
I was
me
going
well,
some
hang on.
Busch
You're
Light.
Wisconsinite girl.
I was-
That's Bush Latte.
Latte. But
Let's say
I
Old
love me
Milwaukee.
some Busch
Yeah,
Light.
but I'll tell you what. Many people, many brewers, many brewery owners, they go for the high life.
Yeah,
They
a lot of
they
Miller
really do.
Lite, yeah.
They
Bud Light-
drink that all
yeah.
the time. And I know a handful
Good
of
beer.
brewers and brewery owners in Savannah that drink Miller Lite on the regular. You go to their house, that's what's in their fridge, along with
Absolutely.
some other odds and ends.
Smith Matthews.
What did Kyle say last night? I drink a Miller Lite before I have a cocktail. Before I have then I have a real drink.
Yeah.
Well,
So like,
It's
I know
just a
about
good
I know
tasting beer.
5 different Psalms that love Budweiser. Like they'll drink Budweiser when they're not drinking wine.
Well, think about it. You're the polarity of you're tasting such a wide array of things. You'd rather just
yeah,
have
lots of notes versus.
it was 2 or 3 years ago, and I saw like mini documentary. This guy, he was a beer judge. He gets done with the beer judging. He's spitting it all out. Whatever. He gets done. He goes to the bar, orders a well rum and Coke. That's his.
Yeah,
No,
that's
that's a
That's
departure.
that's his wind down drink. He's like,
Yeah.
I've had enough beer. And they
Yep.
said, "What's your least favorite beer?" He goes, "Corona, because it tastes like corn cobs to me." I was like, "Okay, all right."
Interesting.
Favorite craft beer.
So, what's your favorite craft beer?
the most recent one I made.
Of course, yeah. You know, that's
I
actually
agree. It's
Walked in
actually
right in
my
that one.
favorite
Well,
right now.
in
That's
fir-
actually
first
mine,
of all,
too.
it's outstanding, and so there's an app and there's a thing in the beer world called Untapped, where people rate beers, they
I
score
think
beers,
Pro told me about that before.
and I don't regularly use it. I have it on my phone. I look at it only when we do a beer with somebody, just because I'm curious. I want to see the comments. I want to see how the score is doing on it. And I tell you what, this beer right here with Brie
Doing
Carey,
fantastic.
it's right now on a score from 0 to 5. It's 4.30, and that's pretty damn good. And it's worthy of it. I really believe that.
Is that the one where, like, if I go to Charleston,
Yep.
I can use that app to find some of my favorite beers where in town?
Correct. You can
Yes.
find you can find
so you
venues.
can use it to find the beer you like in that town.
You
Yeah.
can
That's
find
cool as
you
shit.
can
Yeah,
find
it's really
specific
cool.
beers. It's been around for several years,
Not
and
100%, but it's usually pretty
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And like I said, I really don't use it that much, but and
Well, I mean, you have an interest in knowing.
Yeah.
what
yeah,
people are
yeah,
thinking.
exactly. You know,
Some apps
and-
you only use them when you need them, like the Run P app I'll be using on Thursday.
yeah.
That's right.
Yep. but back to your question, Paxton. What's my pet peeve?
Yeah.
So, a brewery is not a Chuck E. Cheese.
Let's go. You're speaking my language. I know where this is going.
That is my pet peeve. And you work at a bar restaurant, and you work at a restaurant, fine dining restaurant, and Jeff, you've worked at I don't know how many restaurants
Every
and
place in
bars.
Savannah.
Yeah, and when you bring your kids to a brewery, it's not a free for all. You know.
And I love kids. Don't get us
Yeah.
wrong. We are not child haters.
I hate kids. I'll admit it.
I hate kids.
but
As I participated in a
when
baby
you're
shower
no
yesterday.
longer
It is
keeping
an
your
industrial
eye on your
setting.
children, and then teacher Chanda has to come out and babysit your children, I am
Don't
not
pi-
happy.
don't piss off teacher voice Shanda.
Oh yeah.
Clint's sister is a teacher, and she has
She can
hello, I'm
relate.
nice voice. And then when I hear teacher voice come out of
Mhm.
Charlotte,
Be
you know.
afraid.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird because like I hear I'm like,
Be afraid.
It's like when your parents. It's
Yeah.
like when your parents say your
afraid.
middle name.
yeah, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh no,
Yeah.
oh
Yes.
no, what did I do?
right.
My mom used to get so mad at me, she'd run through all the names. She's like, Carl, Charlotte, and she'd do the champ, the dog. And I was like, the dog got before me.
Oh, we've done that.
I've done
But
it.
that mom always teacher too, that teacher voice, and I'm like, But yeah, kids don't need to be running. I mean, like your bar,
No.
Pelican
Or
Boo's
at
kind of
least just
Yeah.
maybe
caters to
can you
kids.
watch your own children?
But
Can you do that?
But in my restaurant,
The
like
simplest
keep your
thing.
kids at the table. They don't need
Yeah.
to be running around anywhere. Like, and if someone's kid runs in my restaurant, I'm like, hey, go sit down right now. I tell her, like, they cannot run around. They're like, it's fine. I'm like, it's not fine. Don't tell me what's fine in
yeah,
my
don't
place.
Yeah.
tell me.
My place of
Yeah.
work. You can't tell me something you don't know.
So I was in Asheville for an Humphrey
I agree.
show, and I went to. We did a tour of Highland.
Yep.
I've heard of that one.
old-
I've heard of one of these.
Oldest brewery in the state of North Carolina. Yep.
And-
great
and-
great place.
Inside, they got a venue inside, a venue outside. Adults inside, they got a little spot outside with food trucks. Your little shit rats can run around out there all they want.
Shit rat.
But inside,
Is
yeah.
and I like that. I mean, when this is not just kids.
And this is a really touchy topic. We've
Yeah.
We've had this discussion on our page before, and it got really ugly. We had to shut it down.
I made
About kids.
I made a
About
meme a
kids.
couple of years ago about kids in breweries, and
Sorry, I didn't.
it
It's
was probably
starting to
one of
fire.
our most active posts ever.
Really?
That
it
that
was
that,
fire.
that stuff blew up in like 3 hours
Really?
and hundreds
Yeah,
of comments.
It got
and
ugly.
it-
There's just
yeah.
too many Karen and Darren parents that feel entitled that their children are a gift to you to be in your
Here's the
presence.
thing. Ostensibly, taking a kid wherever isn't necessarily the problem.
No,
It's when you stop looking after that
stop
kid.
parenting.
You think that it's the onus of the bar or the
The
brewery.
establishment is graced
Yeah.
with your.
It is
Th- th-
not.
Yeah, the beer tender is not your babysitter.
When we worked at Lily's, I don't know if you're working the night where I need a
That's
kid in the
right.
face because it was like 3, and it was running around, and I didn't.
It.
I had asked them twice. Yeah, I'm not going to name what it was. I had asked them. It was like opening cabinets, and I was like, "Yo, get your kid. Like y'all have to control your child.
Yeah, that's
Get it
ridiculous.
out.
And-
See,
and
that's
so
where I
it
have
was-
the problem.
I guess it was doing laps around the table, and I'm not gonna say I did it on purpose, but I could have stopped it, and I didn't. I hit it right in the eye, and the kid starts. Yeah, they don't fucking purpose. Fuck that kid. Fuck their
And
parents.
you
Fuck
know
Karen
what?
and Darren. The kid, if they were the kid run around, it's dangerous. I'm walking around with glassware, and Lily's a semi-nice restaurant.
I don't have a kid,
like
but if I
mid-scale dining.
did, I would want to protect it and not have it around a bunch of drunk people unwatched.
There's
Yeah.
nothing more nerve wracking than watching daddy drunk with a baby strapped on his chest, and he's literally
I like
you
when I
know,
leave work sometimes
6
at,
deep
at
in on
midnight,
12
and
percenters.
there's people out
I'm
with
like,
kids. And,
that is nerve wracking.
Yeah.
I can't stand looking at that.
Why is Dad swaddling anyway?
Yeah, but-
You know?
Yeah.
I was
yeah.
thinking that nothing's
That
more
too.
nerve wracking than
I'm just
daddy,
about let me
daddy
say-
period,
Yeah.
swaddling.
that
yeah.
dad probably has tits, though. Let's be honest.
Probably's got boob.
Man
beer
boobs.
Yeah.
Beer
Oh,
tits.
yeah. When Peter was
Yeah, I could see Huckapoo's like we have kids running around, but it's like it's basically a kid-friendly place.
Yeah,
For sure.
it is.
And the best
I
thing
mean, Mike works there.
Yeah, exactly. He shows up and
Mike.
participates.
I know. Was he working last night?
He was there.
I asked him like 3 times. I was like, "Are you working?" He was just
So was
hanging
he
out.
working or just helping out because he's nice?
He was doing that, but he actually was scheduled.
Everyone thinks he owns the place too, and I'm like, why do you?
Like the logo.
He
We-
does
we
look
made
like
that
the-
mistake a long time
yeah,
ago.
We
Yeah.
made that
Well,
about
and
10
he's just
years
standing
ago.
around.
Well, no, one person goes, I was like, why do you think he works here? They didn't say anything about the logo. They were like, oh, he just stands around and looks at everyone. He doesn't do anything.
Popsicles.
He does get popsicles.
We didn't crush that, did we? I'm sorry.
No,
if we,
there's more.
No, I'm
So, quick question.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
How many pounds of cheese curds your refrigerator?
How many pounds of
0.
cheese curds are in your refrigerator
None
currently?
because they never
0.
last long.
No, because we eat them immediately.
I
And
don't
we also
know.
got some local friends that whenever we get a fresh batch, they want part of them.
Right.
So
We
did-
give them
did-
away.
Oh,
you're
you're on the list, and you'll go towards
So
the top.
did Wisconsin give cheese curds to Canada or vice versa? Because I know it's a popular thing up there
Ooh,
too.
I
contentious.
don't know where
I
they
don't know.
originated first.
Let's just say Wisconsin gave it to Canada because
Yeah, we'll do that.
Has poutine found its way to Wisconsin?
Yeah, most of your northern states do have it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's after watching the poutine video in your mom's house, I'm out of poutine for the rest of my life.
Well, I've just never had it before.
It's a heart stopper.
But
Well,
I've heard
in all ways. In all
It is.
ways, it's a
There was a
heartstopper.
food truck here for a while that had it was like
Really?
poutines. Like,
well, see,
hey,
I've
we got
heard
poutine. I was like, what a weird.
I've heard if you
food
try
truck
and
flex.
church poutine up too much, it's not as good. It's got to be shitty fried fries, gravy out of like the pack, like a
Out of the can.
powdered gravy mixed with water. But the cheese curds are always good.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't squeak,
Kim Keenan said, "There's a curd list. What the hell?"
Yeah.
And William
how
Ru-
did Fro jump me in
All
the
right,
curd
so
list?
if you want your name on the curd list,
yes, I guess comment now. And
let us know.
and William Rudd
go
said
to
he's glad y'all are
Wisconsin
okay after
quite
the
often.
accident.
Here comes that next side business.
You thought
We
the
do
beer.
have
Wait till Curd
connections.
Label Society.
The
blows.
curd label. Oh my.
Hops and curds.
We're gonna cheese the
Hops and
system.
Hops and curds.
Mother-in-law is
All right.
Wisconsin, so she turned
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
instantly in love with it.
I don't know the last time I've had a cheese curd was.
Oh, they're.
Charlotte sells
I mean,
they
it's
have to be
never.
right.
It's
They have
been
to be
forever.
right.
Yeah, I know that I've never had someone go, "This is a high quality cheese curd," and I was like, "Oh, thank you."
They
I
have
think I
to
just tried
squeeze-
poutine a couple times and was like,
I was
nah.
gonna say they have to squeak and they have
They
to be
have
from
to
Wisconsin.
Well,
squeak.
well, that's when they're fresh and
have to be
uncooked. They'll
fresh.
squeak for like the first couple days, and that's
so
about
the
it.
squeak is the
Yeah,
expiration
the
date
the, the,
on
ra-
it,
the
yeah.
raw curd. Yeah,
Yeah,
once they're
okay.
cooked, there's no squeaking then.
So, any Wisconsin friends watching, feel free to send some so we can distribute.
So is I'm cheese curd ignorance, like my beer ignorance, I guess. How do you ship cheese curds? Doesn't cheese have to stay cold?
You can
Well,
do that these days.
There's,
Well, yeah, I mean, is that how you ship
they're,
them?
they're
though?
supposed
Yeah.
to stay cold, but actually, if you're in Wisconsin, one of the best places to get cheese curds is at a local gas station, and they just
Yep.
have them on the counter, on a
Gas
shelf or
station
whatever,
Because it's so
out-
cold.
outside of a refrigerator.
'Cause it's
and-
cold enough out there that.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Yeah.
no.
Well,
Well, depends on the time of the
is.
year, but yeah.
I thought
It
Well, I
is.
guess it's just like peanuts here. You know, they have peanuts on the counter here.
Yeah,
It's-
what's with
Same.
you guys and the mushy boiled peanuts?
gross.
I love it.
Basically, it's salt. It's a way to get salt
Way to
into
get
your
salt.
system. Yeah.
I mean, Georgia's the peanut state.
God bless, but
Georgia grows more peanuts than any other state in the country.
Yeah.
More.
Our daughter Mackenzie loves them.
I don't know why
I
we're the
just
peach
think
state
they're
because we don't grow more peaches.
I
than
just
two
like
other states.
salty shit. You know.
I do too.
Especially.
I grew up with it.
that's why you're
Um,
good friends with Clint.
So
Yeah, exactly.
I was that's about cheese curd thing. So when I went to a winery in Oregon, they don't ship wine to the southern states until November. They do it November through March, and that's it because they don't want the wine to go bad in transit because it's hot.
I
And
get it.
no matter what you do, FedEx or UPS is not taking the best care of your stuff. Definitely FedEx. I hate you, FedEx.
So I got a question for you, Clint. What is your thought on why the wine industry can ship wine to all 50 states and the beer industry currently can ship beer to like 34 states?
Because big wine does that. I'd actually would imagine that it's probably larger breweries that are doing that. Seems like a good. If you're Budweiser, it seems like a good business move to be like, nah, and push that agenda out in the states, so then they don't do it to compete with their business. If I owned a large, Budweiser, Coors, one of those, I
Yep,
would definitely
yep.
try to hold y'all back. I don't think because the wine and beer businesses aren't competing really. I mean, you're not,
No.
people aren't like, well, I'm gonna either get this
Well, there's a
nice
time
slugger or a
I had
bottle of
a-
Cabernet.
I had a fat tire at Bonnaroo,
Sorry.
and I was like, "This is one of the most delicious." I was already twisted. I was at a festival. you
Well,
know.
right.
So
Mhm.
then it took like 3
No
years
way.
for Fat Tire to get here, and when it finally came, I was like, "Oh, why did it take so long to get here?" So that it's shipping from wherever to wherever, and then we didn't have Yingling here in Georgia until
Yeah, remember it would be a thing. People would come down and
Oh,
bring
yeah.
Yingling. We were like,
Yeah.
yes, Yingling.
Yeah,
Like,
Yuengling.
I didn't know why I liked Yingling, but that was just, it was conditioned, I guess. Because I was
Yuengling
like,
is a solid beer.
yeah.
Yep.
Uh,
you can't get it in Wisconsin either. So whenever
Soon-
relatives
soon.
come to visit,
Soon.
they
Oh,
just
yeah, they-
love to get
Yingling
themselves
recently
Yuengling.
signed a distribution contract with Coors, and
Oh,
they're
okay.
they're expanding their footprint rapidly every year. So
I didn't know
Amanda
that.
said
Yeah.
those kids are my birth control. Shout out to you,
Yes,
Amanda.
Amanda.
That's what I said last night after I left. I was like, I'm going
So-
to buy
what's
condoms.
what's
Solid
Amanda's
birth
last
control.
name? Is that somebody you
Bridges. She works at Huckapoo's.
know? Okay,
She's like
all right.
the assistant manager.
I,
don't know
I,
how
was,
to
I was
pronounce
just curious. We got a friend Amanda that moved to Colorado, and I was wondering if
it.
it
You've
was
seen
her,
her
so-
Huckapoo's. She never wears sleeves,
Yeah,
sports bra, shorts.
So
yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Speaking
and
of
she's
Yep, I know who
she's in
Amanda
your
is.
gang of Packers.
Speaking
Hi,
of
Amanda.
speaking of Coors Light and Colorado, me and my buddy and a few other people, Wink, went out to Red Rocks, and the hotel
Love
we
it.
were staying
Favorite
at.
place.
We go down to the bar, and I order a craft something. Person B orders a craft something. Winky orders a cold Coors Light on tap. We get our we only have one beer piece. We get our checks at the end. Coors Light $5. My craft beer $4. Other dude,
Was it really?
what? Wink got he goes, I thought your motherfucker made Coors Light here, man.
Well, you,
Golden's 30 miles up the road.
do you know the nickname for Coors Banquet out there? Colorado Kool-Aid.
Colorado Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Guess who
Like-
just named the episode?
Yeah, Colorado Kool-Aid.
There you go.
Hey, well,
With a
thank
K?
you guys. We're gonna go to the Patreon here in a minute.
Yeah, we're gonna do a little Patreon
But,
after the action.
thank you
after
guys
this.
for tuning in on YouTube.
All
Thank
8
you,
to 6 of
everybody.
you.
Cheers,
and,
everyone.
and thank you for listening on all
Before
the
we
other,
get off, let
services.
me
Yes.
can I
Oh
hold that
yeah.
phone right there for a moment, sir. Want to give maybe some people on Instagram get shout outs. Maybe they don't. I don't know. Oh, there's a
Also,
whole gang of mofos on Instagram.
Nice. Also, give us-
Studwell, shout out
Stud.
Studwell. Allie said, "What beer y'all drinking?" Will that? Studwell said, "Greetings and salutations. I wish I could watch, but I'm about to get hammered, shark drunk at a bar. I love you all. Hope you have
Love
a
it.
mediocre
Shark
evening.
drunk.
Hammerhead,
Did
shark
you
drunk at a
shark?
bar.
Like, what happened?
Is Hammerheading like prairie dogging? Boop.
Studwell will have to answer that question next week.
Oh,
Stay tuned to the Patreon.
Maybe
to find out.
maybe Hammerheading should be the name of it.
Hammerhead,
gross.
hammerhead, shark drunk. It's
Yeah,
such an odd
Hammerhead
way-
Shark
I'm
Drunk.
not
I
supposed to
love it. Yeah.
That's a good one. Well, Studwell, thanks again for the gyms. You're always good with that.
Fro, give us the F count before we get the F out of here.
I don't think we had that many.
I think Clint was.
I won. I have 8.
Ew,
I think
there was a
Clint-
I
few
had
in
5
the
off the rip
beginning.
because of the
Clint
volunteers.
was miles
It was
ahead.
strong.
Wow.
Yeah, I dropped like 3 more.
Paxton.
Those damn
Did,
kids.
did we have any?
Neither one of you
Wow,
cursed.
keeping it
She's a teacher.
professional.
I knew she wasn't going to cuss.
No.
I had to
Well,
put money
yeah,
in it.
she can't after she named out her employer.
No,
Yeah. Well,
So if you don't already, follow Beer Label Society on Facebook.
and-
Also, if you want to email ideas or
Yeah,
whatever,
and likewise, all of our followers and fans, check out
And if there
From
are
Behind the
any-
Barcast on YouTube,
Subscribe,
Instagram,
like,
and on podcast channels.
and share.
and
Yeah.
share, please. Thank
and
you.
someone
guys.
like our YouTube, we're at 99 subscribers.
Yeah,
Hey.
let's
Let me get
make
that
it 100.
Hondo.
That's 5 more
Let's
than
make
today.
it 100.
We're gonna do a short Patreon after this. So
Yes.
if you are a patron, lucky you.
That's
we'll see
when
y'all
shit
next
gets
week.
real.
Love
we
you guys.
love you.
Thank y'all.
You know what
Got
beer,
us an extra like on YouTube.
you know what beer does?
Makes you go.
Makes you pee.
Piss. Yep.
I was holding it for like 10 minutes. I was like, I can fight. Well done. It did. Well,
That went pretty well,
well,
I think.
I think it
I'm a
went.
fighter.
I think it went really well. Yeah, we'll do like a 15-minute Patreon, something like that.
I've been saving that beer for a special moment.
Yummy.
Yeah. The funk is settled some, and it's not as strong as it
Yeah, it's
probably
not
was.
as funky as
when
I
it was
thought it was going to be.
Bad Mother Shuck.
Oh,
A beer.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've had that beer.
The only
Yeah.
place I used to get it on the rag